Happy Friday, everyone, and welcome to the CouchSide Sports Report, although it's not a usual episode.
No, it's not.
Welcome to this year's first special episode.
Let's go.
It's
Love
a
a special episode.
It's a Super Rugby preview on the day Super Rugby begins.
Yes,
Perfect little preview for you to watch before the first games tonight. I'm Simon.
Yes, sir.
That is Dylan. We're back at our usual haunt for another preview.
Yeah,
we did
man.
an All Blacks one last year. I think we did another, I can't remember.
I'm sure we'll do another All Blacks one as well this year.
Oh, absolutely.
Hopefully that lines up with when I'm back.
And when I'm back.
Yes, and when you're back. Anyway, we'll
To
figure
be
out how to do
announced,
that.
To be confirmed.
But no, we're here for a little special episode Super Rugby preview.
So we're going to have a look at all 11 teams, some more in depth than others, look
Yep.
at who they've got on the team, who they've brought in, who they've gotten rid of, who's injured,
Yep.
where they were last year, and also with the game starting tomorrow, we have the squad lists for round one, so we are able to
Of course we do.
we're able to have a little gaze at how
Yep.
the teams could be playing. Some players are still injured, some players have been rested
Yep.
for other reasons, so we do have to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
But like every other episode here on the channel, whether it's a preview or a special episode or a normal report,
Yeah.
please give this a like or a favorite depending on what service you're on, YouTube, Spotify, and if you're not already, please follow or subscribe, and we're all
Yes,
over
sir.
social media, couchside.network.
Yes, sir.
Um,
Especially on TikTok and Instagram.
of
But,
course.
Yeah.
Also YouTube Shorts.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You didn't know that.
No, I didn't know
I was
that.
about to say, you're acting like you didn't know that
No, I knew
we
that.
posted on YouTube Short. Of course
no,
we do,
I was
mate.
just mentioning.
Free
but-
marketing, isn't it?
Of course.
But let's get into this, man, because,
Yeah.
man, it's, for
It
the
could be a
people-
long one.
Yeah, it could be a long one, but also for the people watching, it's a Friday, mate.
It's Friday,
Let's
know?
get the hell out of here. But
Let's get out of here.
But what we've done as well, so we're going to do it in the order of how last season ended. So we'll go not table order, how
Basically.
it actually ended.
So-
So it's basically table order,
So
to be
11th
honest.
the first, but teams who finished further in the playoffs will be ahead of teams who finished behind the playoffs, which is only one
Yes.
team making the
Yeah,
jump.
pretty much.
And
So,
it's-
yeah.
The best team. No, I'm
But
kidding.
let's get into it. You got our first team, man, and
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. This first team has already lost their best player and could end up losing their coach anyway, and that
Yeah.
happens to be the Highlanders.
So the Highlanders are coached by Jamie Joseph currently. I have a feeling you'll still see out the season with them.
Yeah.
They finished 11th last year, which surprised a few people. And
Especially how they started the season.
in terms of their ingoings and outgoings, they were very, very active in terms of bringing in new players. Angus
Yes.
Ta'avao, Thomas Lavanini, Regin Pasitoa, Dylan Pledger, Andrew Newstub, Stanley Solomon, and Xavier Tito Harris all joined the team. And they really only lost a handful of players, Nathan Hasty, Thomas Umanga Jensen, Sam Gilbert, and Michael Manson. But the whole team itself, it's pretty similar to last year, but they have improved in a lot of areas in terms of experience and
Yes.
also in terms of some younger players. The big ones obviously being Angus Ta'avao coming down from the Blues.
Yep.
He was basically a lot more present in the team last year than a lot of people expected, with
Yes.
Ofatoanga Fasi being injured. He's a bit older, but he's definitely a great guy to have in that front row.
You need that veteran presence, and a guy like Angus Ta'avao certainly brings that.
Absolutely, and you cap it off with Argentine international Thomas Lavanini.
Yeah.
That's a brilliant signing for the Landers. It's
I think it actually looks better now.
it does.
But I'm sure you'll talk about it later, so I'll leave it at that. But it looks very good now. But he's a great international player. Let's see what he does at Super Rugby level.
It's a great addition at lock. And then Regin Pasitoa, I've just put in here. I believe he's Australian, came over from the Force. I think he's a fly half who can play in other parts. I think he's been put down here as a midfielder. So, again, more depth for the Landers. I think he'll be very good off the bench. And then Stanley Solomon, Xavier Tito Harris, both very good young players of note. Also Dylan Pledger. But unfortunately for Dylan Pledger, he tore his ACL in pre-season, so he
Yeah.
won't feature at all in 2026. And also Fabian Holland, we did mention on the last sports report that
They hadn't confirmed it yet.
hadn't been confirmed that he had injured his shoulder. He has. He will be up for the entire Super Rugby season. It's expected he will be okay for July.
With the way that he played for the All Blacks this past year, I think he'll be one of those players like Satiti a couple of years ago now. That will like pretty much go back into the squad as soon as that squad gets named, which I am completely happy with because that dude has the work rate of somebody that is like twice as little.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
yeah, but it makes the Thomas Lavanini signing for the Highlanders actually look really, really good.
yes. And Lavanini is not playing this week. Apparently, he's still getting his fitness up. But
Fair.
to look at the rest of the team, the Highlanders, they already have Ethan de Groot in that front row. They already have Salamau. They have Josh Bartlett. They have Daniel Leonard-Brown. The hookers, they've got Jack Taylor, who's kind of been primed up as the next All Black hooker. You have Henry Bow, and you have Soani Vakena, who may even be third choice here at the Landers now, which is kind of a crazy.
That's kind of crazy
Revelation. The locks, Holland and Lavanini are joined by Mitch Dunshea and Ty Cribb, and also technically Ollie Haig, who is also a loose forward.
That's not a bad locking. That's not a bad locking room there.
No,
to be honest,
it's a pretty good one. Obviously, Dunshea has had a lot of Super Rugby experience.
Yeah.
The Lucies is still Super Rugby level. Maybe not the most experienced pack, but they did show last year that they had a lot of promise. Nakota Broaden, TK Howden, Vivinia Lasaka, Sean Whitty, who made the All Blacks 15 team at the end of the year.
Yeah.
You've got the likes of Hugh Renton as well. And then also the wider training groups have been revised. I think each team was allowed to pick up to 10 players. They're only allowed to be brought in when there's been an injury. So Ron Wingham, prop, and very big NPC standout Lucas Casey, a loose forward, have already been brought into the teams because of injury. Wingham, I'm guessing it's for Salamau, who is out with a shoulder injury for 8 weeks. And Lucas Casey will be in there. I'm not entirely sure who for, because there doesn't appear to be any forwards injured.
Well, good on him for getting in there already.
Maybe
mate.
they've put him in as lock. Oh, maybe technically because Ollie Hay has dropped into the locks. They've decided that they need to bring in Lucas Casey. And then at the backs, unfortunately, no Dylan Pledger this season, but Folau Fakatava has shown before why he was one of the most promising scrum halves, and Adam Lennox is in the bad backup. Cam Miller and Tane Robinson are joined by Andrew Newstub in the first 5/8. In midfield, you've got Pasitoa, and he joins Tavatavanawai and Tanielu Talea.
Yep.
Geez, Simon.
Talea,
Talea.
you got
it. And the outside backs is even more stacked than last year.
Yep.
Finn Hurley, who hopefully stays fit, is joined by Jonah Lowe, Jonah Nareki, the bro JRK,
Jacob Ratu Maitavuki Nipkins,
Stanley Solomon, Caleb Tangito, and Xavier Tito Harris.
That's a great young core of outside backs there. And I just wanted to, because it's the one loose forward you didn't mention. But the reason I want to shout out to Will Stoddart is because I have played basketball with his brother Mac.
Wow.
So if Mac ever watches this, Mac, love you, bro. I haven't seen you for a while, but I hope you're doing well, man. Seen you play at the Otago Nuggets in the NZNBL. But yeah, when I saw that he was posting stuff about his brother Will, I'm like, oh my God. That's actually a dude, you know, that's getting quality minutes for the Highlanders. But there you go.
It's the same guy. So they're round one. They have to play the Crusaders, which is very tough, even when you see the Crusaders team, which goes out. But who I think might be their starting front row for the start of the season. They did name it De Groot, Taylor, and Ta'avo. Haig joins Mitch Dunshea in the locks. TK Howden at blindside. Sean Woody at open side, and Lucas Casey gets to start at number 8. One of 2 debutantes for the Highlanders. Folau Fakatava is joined by Cam Miller. The wings are Jonah Nadeke and Caleb Tangito, which makes sense as both Xavier Tito Harris and Stanley Solomon are currently injured for the next 2 weeks.
I'm not sure they'd take those guys out necessarily either, but
we'll see with Nadeke. But Tavatavanawai is joined by usually a winger in Jonah Lowe, and then Alatu Matavuki Nipkins is at. I said the English last name wrong.
Look at this guy, mate,
Starts at fullback like he did last year. And the bench is promising. You've got Henry Bow with Josh Bartlett and Ron Wingham. You've got Will Stoddard with Vivinia Lasaka, Adam Lennox with Pasitoa and Talea.
Yeah, young team, man.
I think
it's a young team.
It's an improvement over last year.
Agreed. On paper, yeah.
But I think every single team has gotten better for the most part, or at least maybe gone down to the level that everyone else is at. So it makes it really difficult to actually predict who's actually going to be in that bottom 4.
True.
The Highlanders, maybe just because of all the other teams getting better, might end up back in that area, but I hope not, because they have a lot of promising players. I think if Holland and Pledger were fit, you'd be a lot more confident to have him higher up.
In saying that, I'm not sure Pledger gets even over Fakatava yet.
No,
but to have that depth there is pretty
I
good.
expected him to be at least starting the season behind him, but I would have assumed he would have overtaken him by the end of it.
But
we don't know.
But can I just say, it's like I said with these backs. First of all, Tavatawa Nawai, I don't know what he's taken, but he was supposed to be out for way longer than this.
Yeah,
I'm sitting there like, huh? So, hey, who knows? I'm loving to see that. Hopefully he has another similar season to what he did last year. And I said this to you, if JRK, Jacob Raitu Matavuki Nipkins, and Caleb Tangito can have big seasons, and let's say the Highlanders finish 7th, 6th, somewhere along those lines, I think those guys have to be considered for All Black selection, especially Tangito, where we're going into, let's call it a new, not new generation, but a new era of wingers.
Yeah,
in a sense.
I think that Tangito will. I think his name's already on the board as far as I'm concerned, honestly.
Yeah.
And I think because JRK can play on the wing, he has before, and the All Blacks do like to play that like fullback quasi winger on the right.
Yeah,
and he's played on the right before. I think that's where he possibly fits in the All Blacks. I don't think he plays fullback. Unless it's him and Will Jordan there, who knows? But but obviously we've got a whole season to go. We've got to see how they play.
Also, just before you do that, people, if you hear a beep, it's because
it's the AC.
I turned the AC off because it was annoying me. But anyway, so the Highlanders could have a very up season.
They could.
But could also have a very down season. But the one thing has stayed the same. They've got young talent there. They've got an experienced, great coach. I think they've got a good core building there. I think if they had a good season this season, it would be a little bit ahead of schedule, I guess we'd say. But you never know. They have the talent there. So we'll see what happens.
Because next year they do add Josh Jacob to the team, which is a big addition. And
absolutely,
he's probably a future All Black if we're thinking about who's realistically going to be called up next.
Yeah, especially at that 10 spot. But I think the Highlanders got better. It'll be, like you said, I think everybody else got a little bit better.
Yeah.
Can they put it together, maybe finish that 6th, 7th? Who knows?
I feel like this was the case last year as well when we were thinking about the season. Like we just felt like everyone had gotten better.
But they started really well and fell off.
Yeah.
So can they start well and maybe keep that going? We'll see what happens.
But losing Holland and Pledger will be tough. But also gaining the likes of Ta'avao, Lavanini when he's at fit. And I'm interested to see how Pasitoa does off the bench for them because he might be able to fill in a lot of holes. As we move on to the team who finished 10th, it's the Fijian Drua.
There we go. Yeah, so the Drua finished 10th. I thought they'd do better last year.
I thought they had done better. It's just looking at all of these teams, I thought they all did better.
Yeah. That's a very good point. But you'll know these players a hell of a lot better than me. But the coach, but the coach is Glenn Jackson, who I didn't know was coaching the Drua. I'll be honest, I thought he was coaching over in Europe. But he's there, but you've definitely got some players there, at least that I'm recognising from here. Frank Lamani, who I thought was great last year. Armstrong Ravula is still there with the first 5, play some fullback as well. There's some names here that are some throwback names. Manasa Mataele, that's a throwback name for me.
Signed from the Chiefs of all places, actually.
That's pretty crazy. But you know what I could say all these names, but one, I'm going to get some of them wrong, so I'm going to leave it. So I'm not going to offend anybody. But 2, I think I think most people know what they're getting from the Fijian Drua.
The Fijian Drua is just essentially where the Fijian national team, the majority of it, can actually all play together almost during the domestic season. Like a lot of them do end up going to France. I think the majority of the outgoings, they were all going to France. And I think they even lose academy players to France. But that's true. It's great for them because it means a lot more of their players are actually playing together. Their chemistry,
and playing a lot more too.
And because Fiji is a smaller nation, having one professional team is really the only option, and it works. It's working for Fiji. They are consistently. I think more people have a lot more faith of them at the international level.
Yeah,
the last World Cup where they beat Australia definitely helped. The amount of talent getting selected from the Drua for every Fijian squad is immense. Yeah. And a couple of other players they signed.
Go for it.
Former French international, born in New Zealand, raised in Fiji, moved to France at a very young age, played for the Sevens team, and then was a full 15s international.
Wow.
Virimi Fakatawa, this guy was a beast at centre back in the day.
Yeah.
He's been brought back to Fiji. He never played Super, so it's good to see him here. And then I've also just put in Timo Mayana Vanua because he was playing in England.
Pronunciation there, mate.
And he's a younger lock, but he's massive, and he's like 6'7" or 6'8". So he's huge.
Did you just say it?
Yeah, I just said that. But he's only in his late 20s, about 27 or 28.
Okay.
So he's a younger, big lock who's played before. And then in terms of our outgoings, Caleb Muntz is probably the biggest one because he...
Did he go to France?
He's gone to France.
Yeah.
He is the starting 10 for Fiji and the Fijian Drua.
Yeah.
But no Armstrong Ravula in the first squad. I'm not sure why that's the case. As Fiji have listed, they've got no injuries at the moment. The only team to do that.
Yeah.
But
true.
your guy, Frank Lamani, is coming off the bench. I will say a signing of note from the Force is halfback Isaac Finis Leliwasa. I think he's played for Australia A or Australia.
Okay. Yeah.
So I don't know if he's also coming in to play for Fiji, but he looks like a very capable scrum half and maybe put some pressure on Lamani. They've got 4 halfbacks, so it's going to be a bit hard, but I'm sure we're going to be very familiar with a lot of these names going forward because you always find yourself finding a brand new beast of a player with the Drua.
True.
The developmental squad, they have a developmental squad. We won't go over it, which was kind of cool to have a look at. But their squad heading in, familiar names. Ravike also coming off the bench. They have a Valentini, who's starting at 10. But Vakatawa at 12 and Martielli at 14. That's going to be awesome to see. And for anyone who plays fantasy, Vakatawa is currently listed on Super Rugby Fantasy with a price of 0. So get him while you can.
That's pretty. If he gets consistent minutes, because I feel like that's the key to fantasy leagues.
He's the only player with a value of 0.
Yeah, I was with a friend who yeah, of course I was. I was talking to a friend at the gym, and he was at the start of the NFL season, and he was doing NFL fantasy, and he showed me his team, and his team was rated at the start of the season really low. But I was looking at his team, and I was going, man, when it comes to fantasy, you want guys that are playing.
Yeah.
You want the guys that are playing minutes because they will do something.
Because they will give you the points.
So
at the end of the day.
if Vakatawa, man, if he's 0, might have to snip him up. But the big thing for the Drua, and I say this with the Drua and Moana, more the Drua than Moana, if the Drua can find structure every game, and play that a slightly slower game than the usual broken play, then I think that's a team that will threaten that 5th, 6th spot.
And you're bringing in a guy who used to play for France and Vakatawa, who is Fijian, so I think he's a massive addition into that. And I think as long as they still play to their advantages, which is the home advantage.
Yes. My God, yes.
Yeah, I think if they could win the majority of their home games, top 6 might be cooling. Which will be really interesting to see if they can pull it off.
Very true.
Obviously finished further down the pack last season. I don't necessarily know how much they've improved or unimproved, wrong word, but
we'll find out.
We'll find out.
Speaking of top 6, though, this next team was in it for a while and then dropped off.
And I think they are a bit of a wild card because I don't think a lot of people are talking about the Western Force.
Yeah.
And I've seen murmurs. They played the Brumbies in their first game. A lot of people were suggesting the Force actually have a shot at beating the Brumbies, which is really interesting. Now,
I mean, they are playing. You have a shot if you're actually playing the game.
Oh,
but you make a point.
So they've made a lot of signings. They've signed quite a few Argentinians, including Argentinian international Franco Molina, who is a lock, another Argentinian lock, and George Bridge makes the move from France to Perth, former All Black international. And in terms of the outs, they lost a lot of players like the before mentioned Finez Lelewasa, Pasitoa, and Nick White retired, but they've really only lost Harry Potter,
the magician.
And I feel like this team is pretty good because you have a look.
Yeah, it is.
You have a look. I don't know too much about the front row, but as much as we love to write them off here, Darcy Swain's in this team. Molina will be a great partner for him. And the Lucy's is where you have Carlo Tizzano and then Nick Champion de Crispini. The Crispy.
Though I mean, the Crispy is it?
I don't know.
No, but he let's call him Nick Champion. Nick Champion was a Wallaby
At the end of the season, yeah.
Carlo Tizzano broke the Super Rugby scoring record last year.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
I don't know how a flanker would do that, but there you go.
To be fair,
but he was the backup to Fraser McWright pretty much the entire
Sonny
season for the
Tamalolo
Wallabies.
was the try scoring record holder 1 year in Super back in the day.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, I think Carlo Tizzano broke it for a forward because Hoskins broke it the year before.
That's
and
right.
then Carlo Tizzano went and broke that. But yeah, that on like actually on paper, this team is quite solid.
And then if you look at the backs, Kiwi Nathan Hastie's over there now. You got Ben Donaldson joined by another Kiwi, Alex Harford, who unfortunately is currently out with a long-term shoulder injury. This is the force they've put their injuries in short-term, medium-term, or long-term. So I don't exactly know how much long-term is. In the midfield, you got a couple of names there. I know Boston Whakawhanua is a former Aussie U20 international. But the outside backs, we have George Bridge. It's where you have, still playing, Kurtley Beale.
Crazy.
You have Dylan Peach, who is a Wallaby.
Wallaby, yep.
But it's a really interesting team, and how they've lined up for their first game against the Brumbies. Tizzano's obviously at 7. Nick Champion is at 8. Molina gets to start with Williams. Swain's on the bench. Nathan Hastie gets to start at 9 with Ben Donaldson, who was very good last year.
Yep.
You have Kurtley Beale on the bench. You have George Bridge starting at 13, which is interesting. He's never played there before. So, not even in France, where you would think if he was to play 13 somewhere, it'd be in France.
Yep, true.
So, I'm very interested to see George Bridge at 13, because if he plays even remotely good, the amount of people everywhere say, oh, maybe we should bring back George Bridge for the All Blacks if he's playing at 13 will be immense, because no one is ever satisfied about the centre pairings.
Nobody's in New Zealand's ever satisfied about All Black rugby in general.
No.
Including probably us.
Especially at the moment. But this Force team, if they carry that good form they had at points of last season, keep it consistent, then this team could absolutely finish in the top 6.
Because they only really dropped off in the last, we'll say, 4 or 5 games of the season and let the Blues come up there. Thank you, by the way.
Thank you.
But yeah, that's a team on paper that like is definitely a hell of a lot better than Force teams in the past.
Yeah.
But there's some guys there, and then you've got the veteran presence as well of Kurtley Beale. So we'll see what happens. These Australian teams, they might be up there again to surprise us all. But we'll move on to the Waratahs, who did finish 8th. They also somewhat dropped off as the season went on. But they have, at least to me, I mean, they've had some people go out like Darby Lancaster, who went to the Force and stuff like that. But they look like they've kept the majority of their great players there. In terms of forwards, they have added a guy who we became a fan of last year, Ioane Moananu, who I believe is injured at the moment.
Well, he's not listed as injured, but he's not playing the first game.
Okay.
Hopefully that's just a rest.
Well, hopefully he can get in there, but you've still got Whainga is there as well in the hookers. In terms of locks, Angus Blythe, awesome player, and then loose forwards. You got Lachlan Hooper there, and Pete Samu
returning,
who's returning there. Halfbacks Jake Gordon,
to Australia at least.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Jake Gordon, solid halfback, played for the Wallabies. The first fives don't actually look as recognisable to me.
So they've just brought in Jag Depricini. He's been brought in, I believe, from the Brumbies. Because they did lose Tane Edmund to the Brumbies.
That's right.
So
yes,
it is new look there. Only 2 centres. 3 centres in their squad is funny, but other players.
But one of them is, of course, Joseph Suali'i. And then outside backs look great.
It looks dangerous.
Yeah, Andrew Callaway has been awesome. You've got Harry Potter, the magician. You've got Max Jorgensen, who became a star for the Wallabies last year. That's a pretty dangerous outside backs list there, man.
And you have Andrew Callaway there as well. I think their starting outside backs at one stage will be Callaway with Potter and then Jorgensen at the back.
That's tough.
They've currently got a player called James Hendren starting at fullback for their next game.
Yep.
So
I'm hoping Jorgensen actually gets more wing play, because I feel like he played the best for the Wallabies when he was on the wing. But he did play a lot. He played fullback against the All Blacks. But yeah, that's a solid. I'm not going to lie, that's a solid backline.
They did lose a couple of players: Lungy Gleeson, Rob Leota, Angus Bell, and Tupou, although Angus Bell's only a short-term loan. He's gone over to one of the Irish teams just for a bit, and then he's coming back.
That's right.
But the team they've named to start the year, Craydon gets to start at 10, Samu returns, gets to start at 8.
Yep.
The Depressini starts on the bench.
Yep.
But yeah, it's a very interesting Waratahs team. A lot of people are picking them to beat the Reds because the Reds have a lot of players out with injury at the moment. We'll talk about that when we get to them. But it is, I think, like they've lost players they probably didn't want to lose, but they've gained some good players. Pete Samu's a massive get for Australian rugby in general. Yeah. Harry Potter's one of the best up-and-coming wingers.
I'm surprised that they were actually able, like I said, able to keep the talent that they did.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, I mean, their backline's great. Pete Samu's been able to come back. He'll be a great veteran presence there. Love a good veteran presence. You know, bringing in Ioane Moananu, like we said before. That's like I said, that's a team like the Force.
Yeah.
That could once again challenge for that top 6, and the New Zealand teams are going to have to bring their A games.
Absolutely. But speaking of a team who kind of got ravaged by players leaving the team, and it seems to happen every year, it's Moana Pacifica, who finished 7th last year. Now they've kept a lot of the core. Some of the core, I guess you could say, but they did lose a lot of players. Adi Savia and Karantoin Maifalo, the biggest ones, but even guys like James Lay, Sione Mafaleo, Abraham Pole, Michael Curry, Samuel Slade, Ola Taulangi, Sione Havili, Lotu Anise, Fine Nisi, Lossi Filippo. They're all gone.
They lost a lot.
Yeah. So I thought I was reading from the ins for a second. But they brought in 2 former All Blacks, Nani Laumape and Augustine Pulu. They also brought in Japanese hooker Mamoru Harada. They brought in Jimmy Tupou, who's been around a bunch of Super Rugby teams over the years.
Was he just at the Chiefs?
He was just at the Chiefs.
Yes, that's right.
They've got a couple of injuries at the moment. I don't know how serious some of these are, but that includes the likes of Pulu, Tupou, and a couple of other players. But they have a very interesting team. You will recognize a lot of the players from the squad. The likes of there's only a couple of debutants here in the team, like the likes of Tuipulotu, Sanrivi, Apua, all played last year. Savage and Curry were the starting lock duo the whole year.
Yep.
Failangi's the team captain, I believe.
Craig. Yeah.
Adi Savi is currently being replaced by a man the name of Simisi Paya. Then Tupou Tailoa, who was one of the breakout players last year.
He was great at 8 last year.
Is still at 8. Tomatini still at 9. Petra Pellegrini, who we were all very impressed by last year, is still at the team, starting at 10. You got the likes of Ali Malo and Offa on the wing. You got Laumape with Lalo Milo.
That's tough. That's a tough duo
that's
there.
Scary. But
you're gonna get some people running at you.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, Havili at 15. You look at that and it's like, yes, they lost Artie. Yes, they lost KT. Yes, they lost a whole bunch of other players. But some of those parts of the team still get up on your nerves a bit. You're like, oh shit, this is a scary team.
And they've still got good old Tanu Manga there as coach.
Still there as coach.
So unless he becomes part of the All Black stuff.
I'm just scared the amount of turnover and talent is going to be what might bring them down a bit, and also very tough first test in Fiji.
Also, shout out to Miracle Failangi, who is now a captain.
I did,
which is awesome there. But no, you did say his name, but I was just wanted to say he was the captain, which is awesome. And then of course our good old Nico Jones.
Nico Jones back in.
But yeah, you're right. This is tough because yes, they could do better than last. But if you're looking at how much that they lost, it is very hard for me to say where the rest of those teams did get better, unless they all play really well. And let's say Failangi and the number 8, what's his name again?
Tupou Tailoa.
Yeah, if those guys come out and become like the 2 best Super Rugby forwards at their position. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to be tough for them. But they do have guys there.
You still have the Pellegrini Havili 10-15 combo.
Yep, true.
You still have Lalomilo. You've got Nani Laumape. You've got Augustine Pulu.
And you have Julian Savia there as well. So.
Oh, yeah. Is he still there?
Yeah, you put him there. So I'm going to guess he's still there. Yeah, he's still playing.
Just not named in the team for this week.
So, yes, they do have players. It's can they put it together? And I'm not sure even if they put it together, it's enough to get a playoff spot.
I think we're going to be a lot of people's easy pick to finish last. I'm going to have to think about it once we've gone over all of this because it's going to be really tough.
Yeah, it is.
To actually figure out who's going to finish where. But we move on to another team who lost quite a few players, but didn't gain too many. And that is the Reds, Dylan.
So let's get through the Reds. So they did lose the qualifying final to the Crusaders last year. You're right. They did lose quite a bit. I mean, they've still got Jeffrey Tumunga Allen. They're in the props. You also in the locks. You've still got Salakai Loto, which playing him and Skelton for the Wallabies actually changed it quite a bit for the Wallabies, including Sedu Udu as well. Fraser McRide and Harry Wilson are both great both Wallabies. Going into the backs, you've still got Tate McDermott. You've got Carter Gordon coming back
from league.
You've also got Tom Liner there, so that's quite that.
No idea he came back to Super Rugby. Ben Volavola. Ben Volavola is back.
Yeah. That's actually quite a solid first 5'8" room.
Yeah. I mean, Harry McLaughlin Phillips has the start this week,
yes,
which we'll
and
talk
that's
about later.
The other one. But yeah, and then you go midfield. Hunter Paisami still there, and even outside backs, Jock Campbell, the junkyard dog, Tim Ryan. You've got Filippo Del Ngunu as well. So yeah, that's still to me at least, that's still on paper absolutely you could be a top 16.
Oh, absolutely,
or should be a top 16.
And they have a developmental squad, quite a big one, and 4 developmental players have been named in the team to start this week, including Finn Mackay.
Also, let me pause here for a second because a long-standing New Zealand player has also gone to the Reds, and that's Aidan Ross.
Yes.
And also, the Blues coach, Vern Cotter, will coach the Reds next year.
Next season. Well, Aidan Ross has actually moved over because he can play for Australia.
Yes,
and already has played for Australia.
Yep.
But Finn Mackay, first 5'8", is just 18 years old, has been named on the bench this week, alongside other developmental players of Vaiutu Latu, James Martins, and Xavier Rubens. In fact, all of their bench backs are developmental players because their injury list is Filippo Dungunu, Massimo De Lutius, Carter Gordon, Tom Liner, Will McCulloch, Tate McDermott, Jeremiah Muddy, Josh Nasser, Kalani Thomas, Ben Volavola, Harry Wilson.
That's a lot.
That is a lot, which is crazy. But the players who are starting, you still got McWright starting on the weekend. You've got Paisami starting. You've got Campbell. But it is a very rotated Red side.
Yeah.
You have the likes of Tumunga Allen on the bench, Udu on the bench, but this is why I think a lot of people are picking the Tars. But I think on paper, without the injuries, this Reds team is stacked. I think it's probably the best Aussie team on paper.
Wow, you'd go out there and say that?
I think I might. We'll have a look at the Brumbies in a second.
Yeah, well, the Brumbies are after this, but...
I get to do the deep dive into the Brumbies.
Yes, into the Brumbies.
Dig my own hole or prove my point.
Yeah, but no, I guess the thing will be, is the Red squad too rotated to start the year?
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure how long these guys are out with injuries.
No,
but is it too rotated? To where they start the year bad enough where they can't come back from it.
Yeah.
I personally don't think that's going to happen.
No.
But like you said, that still looks like a great team on paper. Not sure I would say they're better on paper than the next team we cover, which you can start that right now.
Yeah, so we're not covering the Brumbies next, but we're covering, I think, a lot of people's picks to win the whole thing because they have seemingly just improved in every single position without losing much in return. And that's the Hurricanes, still coached by the Scotsman, Craig Laidlaw, that finished 4th last year.
I'm just going to put this out here. Right now. For me, on paper, this Hurricanes team should win the Super Rugby title.
Yeah.
On paper. And we'll see how they play.
They've only brought in 5 players. One of these 2 returning players, and they have lost quite a bit more. But let's just start off with, Geordie Barrett's back. He wasn't there last season. He's back there now. They've brought back Josh Morby from France, who was great in Super Rugby. And then Warner Dearns is here for at least a year.
From Japan.
Japanese international, born in New Zealand.
Yep.
So he's a massive, massive get, considering they lost Zach Gallagher. And also, you lose Peter Umanga Jensen, but you can add back Geordie Barrett. You lose Cade Banks, but you can bring back Josh Morby. Yeah. It's kind of taking the piss a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
But the team's still stacked. Asafa Almoa is now also joined by Vernon Basin, who is a full-time member of the team, not even just a wider training squad member.
Yep.
And you've still got Jacob Devery and Raymond Tuputupu there.
Was Vernon Basin the captain of the under-20s team as well?
It was either him or his brother.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Vernon. Actually,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was Vernon. But yeah, once again, that's also young talent too. I mean, props. Come on, Tyrell
Yeah.
Lomax, Tavita Mafaleo, Xavier Numia, but Arquette Stones are still there until next year. And Pasali Otosi. I mean, what are we doing
And then also
here, boys?
Siali Loaki as well.
Yeah.
And the locks, Warner Durns joins Hugo Plummer, Caleb Delaney, Isaiah Walker-Ledawede, and Tom Allen. And then the Lucy's is
come
still
on, dude.
good. Devin
Come on,
Flanders.
dude.
You got Devin Flanders, Adese Polico, and Brad Shields, who is supposedly out for a little bit with a finger.
Yep.
But then in front of him, you got Brandon Uwase, Peter Lakai, Duplessis Kirifi.
What you gonna do, bro?
What are you gonna do with that team?
What are you gonna do?
But at the
I'm surprised. I will be not surprised, but I will be interested to see how the combo works. Because I said this to you last year as well. I think Kirifi has the mentality for a 6, but not the size.
Yeah.
And Lakai did play great at 8, but Iose is an 8. So
Yeah, but he
who
has
did
been
play
playing
6. But I
or
still
coming
think
off the bench for
Yeah.
Brad Shields.
Yeah, I still think if you really wanted to, you could. You're probably going to go Iose 6, Kirifi 7, Lakai 8, because Kirifi and Lakai, that's how they played All Blacks, and Lakai well deserving to play a lot of those big games at the end of the year. But that's stacked, and then we get to the backs.
It's crazy. Like Cam Roygaard's joined by the young Geordie Viljoen and also Edata Inari.
Yep.
And then Brett Cameron is joined by Callum Harkin and Lucas Cashmore. Unfortunately, Harry Godfrey is injured again, torn his ACL for the season. But even Ruben Love probably will get an opportunity at 10.
I think they might actually play him at 10.
He played preseason at 10, so
Yeah.
I think he gets a chance here. But in the midfield, Geordie Barrett joins Billy Proctor, could be his All Blacks partner this year. But then you've also still got Riley Higgins and Balin Sullivan, and also Johnny Rova and Josh Timu. And then the outside backs, although he's leaving, you have
Ngofo.
yeah, he's off to, I think, Japan.
No, he's going to the Newcastle Red Bulls.
No, that's right. The Red Bull. What a signing for them.
Yeah.
And then obviously on the other wingers, Josh Morby, Kitty Naholo, Nani Punavai. Outrageous.
And then you've got Ruben Love
Ruben
and that
Love.
outside backs who, I mean, they did play, like you said, 10 in preseason. I think he's a better fullback. But if he's going to play 10 and play well, hey, the All Blacks have got that there. So, I mean, come on. Like I said, this team on paper should win Super Rugby.
They should. But you have a lot of really promising players in their wider training group. Now, you have the likes of Mosese Basin, Logan Wallace, Cooper Flanders, and Will Cole, I think, were all U20 internationals recently.
Yep.
And I don't know how he's only a wider training group member, because whenever I watch him NPC, he was killing it. Taniela Filimone, Tongan international,
yeah.
rapid, brilliant on his day.
Yeah.
Godfrey injury is a bit bad. It's a bit shit for them, but I think they're a great team. I think if they get their combos right and they don't have that weird feeling some teams have where they just can't win the games which might matter, I think they're a real big chance to win the whole thing.
But on paper, my goodness, this team is good.
It's a great team. Round 1, they don't have a game, but they host Moana Pacifica in round 2.
We'll be interested to see what they go with for that starting team. But look who it is.
It's time for the Blues, a team we have a lot to talk about, I'm sure.
And I get to do it. Well, most of it.
Yeah. You get started.
Yeah. I am, I'm going to put this out there. We've said this before. We're Blues fans. Hello. Look at the Auckland shirt. If you're going to pull that down. 2003. Ropene. Thank you for the hookup there, mate. But yeah, that's... The Blues, it's interesting because I want to say this. If the Blues are going to win a Super Rugby title it's going to have to be this year because they lose a lot next year.
Well, we've already lost a lot, and I'm sorry to cut into you, but...
go for it, man.
These are the names of note we have lost this season. Also, shout out to Cameron Sorfor. I hope you get well soon. You have
Big facts.
Angus Ta'avo, Ricky Riccatelli, Adrian Choate, Harry Plummer, Rico Ioane, Mark Talea. I kind of forgot how much talent the Blues had lost.
Yeah, we lost a lot.
And they've mostly recruited younger, unproven guys, which is probably the best decision.
Yeah, we have gone
Plus
quite
one
young.
guy I'm really excited to see how he does in Super Rugby as a player now.
Yep, very true. But yeah, let's go through some of these names, man. In the props, you've got Josh Fusitua, which we'll talk about the team as well. But I hope he gets more minutes because that guy was really good last year. There's a reason why he was the Blues Player of the Year. You've still got Marcel Renata there. You've got Ofa Tungafasi, who looks like he might be playing more tight head than loose head, but he can absolutely play both. Hookers, we did add Bradley Slater, and you still got Kurt Eklund there alongside James Mullen. For the locks, our locks, man, they look pretty good.
Yeah.
Josh Berry, who played, who played in the All Blacks 15 last year and actually got called up to the All Blacks.
As a training guy.
Yep, as a training guy. You've got Sam Darry, who's coming back. And Sam Darry with Fabian Holland out, it is your time, sir. It is your time. Lachlan McWonnell still there. And Patrick Tuipulotu, although he is injured at the moment, is still there as well as a captain. Loose forwards is, besides Dalton Papali'i, I mean, Anton Segner's still young, but he's played. And Hoskins Satutu, it's quite a young loose forward room. Shea Clark's still there. They added Malachi Rampling as well. And then we'll move on to the backs. You do have Finlay Christie, which at Super Rugby, awesome. You've got Tofa Funaki there, who didn't have the best of seasons last year. I think a lot of that was to do with injury. And you've still got Sam Knock there, so that's the solid halfback room. First fives, Stephen Pedofeta. I said this to you after the preseason game for the against the Crusaders, where a lot of people said he played really well.
Yeah.
I should have gone to watch it because it's 5 minutes away from where we are right now.
Yeah, should have.
But hey, you got to live life. But the only thing I hope for is that Stephen Pedofeta has an elite season injury free.
Yep.
If he can do that, he's got to be within All Blacks selection.
And with Bowden taking the first couple of weeks off,
Yeah.
perfect opportunity.
Yeah.
But also his
Another guy that impressed the young guy there as well. So I'm sure you're about to talk about. But
well, Rico Simpson's
Yes,
in the Blue
sir.
squad. I don't know how much time he'll get this season, but he was at times at Auckland where he did look a little bit too inexperienced. But I'm sure the
Yeah.
Blues will help.
preseason, people were saying he looked really good.
Oh,
So.
that's good to hear.
Move on to you can say these midfielders, because I know it's a guy you're super excited about. That's come back to the Blues.
Peter Arky's back after 10 years. He's been in France. He's been amazing there. Hopefully he's going to be amazing for the Blues. He's starting at 12 on the weekend.
Yeah.
Already joining AJ Lane, who's unfortunately on his way out at the end of the season. Xavier Tiley, and then a guy we picked up from Canterbury, James Cameron.
Yep.
And then the outside backs, a lot of new names to look forward to. Returning name, though, in Cade Banks.
Yep.
But Caleb Clark is in the squad, and he'll be joined by Corey Evans, Cole Forbes. Peyton Spencer's still around. Son Sullivan, I think, will be starting at fullback if all goes to plan. Evan Cody Vi is a new signing, and he has been named on the bench for this game, as have wider training group members Mason Tupaia and Torian Barnes, due to injuries for. There's no prop injury. Jordan Lay.
I also forgot that in the wider training group was he's played for North Harbour, but it was under 20s. Harlan Sonoa is there in the wider training squad. I hope he can fulfil his potential.
You've also got Eli Unduran, who is in the same vein as that, and also Lester's brother Tima Whainaunuku, who I know has been very good.
I was like, I didn't want to confirm if that was his brother or not, but okay.
Tima's a
I'm
Tongan
glad.
international, I believe.
Yeah.
There are a couple of injuries. Cam Christie's out for the season with a knee injury. That's gutting.
Yeah.
I think he would have been a very big contender to play blindside a lot of the season.
Yep.
Corey Evans currently got an ankle injury. Not sure for how long. Malachi Rampling out with concussion, as is Jordan Lay. Patrick Tuipulotu has a shoulder injury. And Peyton, I already talked about Peyton Spencer. But for the Blues, they have lost a lot, but a lot of people might say it's a beneficial thing for the Blues. It gives them more options, more ways to, change it up.
They have certainly gone young.
Yes.
The Blues have gone young with their selection.
though.
And also, when I say that this may be our last year to win it for a little bit, it's Vern Cotter's last year coaching the Blues.
Well, also, Rico Ioane does come back next year.
True.
We might have a player who was at the levels of Ta'avao, Rakatali, and Shote, by the end of it. Same with Plummer, with Pedofeta. And Mark Talea, I think, will be the hardest player to replace here because he was just different gravy on the wing. Then the All
especially
Blacks,
in that 14
the All
spot
Blacks
as well.
missed him last season. I think you have to talk about that. But the team they've named, Barnes getting the start at 6 is really interesting. I don't know too much about him. He started only a couple of times for Canterbury last season at 8. But Bradley Slater straight into the starting lineup. Sam Derrick partners Josh Bear, Papali'i Satutu. They're all there as you'd expect. Christie, Petafeta, probably the combo to start it with. Clark partners Cole Forbes on the wing. Peter Aki, AJ Lamb will be great in midfield with Zahn Sullivan up top.
Yeah.
James Mullen over Kurt Eklund on the bench. Mason Tupaya from the wider training squad. Marcel Renata is there. It's the same with Lachlan McWonnell, Anton Signer, Sam Nock, Xavier Tiley with Cody Vi. Interested to see how it works. It'll be hard to beat the Chiefs, but yeah, I'm really excited to see how they go.
Look, we're going to have our bias. I'm going to, I really want my bias to just say Blues are going to win it, stuff you all. But we have to be realistic.
We do.
But we have a squad. I do think that at least this year, this is a squad that can absolutely make the playoffs.
Yeah, but I think a lot of teams can make the playoffs.
Yeah,
so
true.
Who's better?
Yeah. It's going to depend on, I know the Blues were injured a lot last year.
Yeah.
But it's going to depend on, can the Blues stay healthy? And the young guys that we play, do they end up playing well? You know, Xavi Taeli has now got that 1 year of experience. He brings something different to that centre pairing because Aki and Lamb are quite the hit it hard type of guys, whereas Xavi Taeli brings a little bit more of that skill. He can run it up hard, don't get me wrong, but, bit of that grace and finesse with the skills there, and then also, I will say this as well, when it comes to the wingers, now Caleb Clark is kind of known for having not very big Super Rugby seasons, but getting picked for the All Blacks anyway. I'm not going to lie, with the competition for the wing spots for the All Blacks, he needs to have a season like he did when we won it.
Yeah.
Like as big a season as that. Because, I think
he still gets the nod anyway because they know he turns it up for the All Blacks.
This is
similar to
true.
players like Matanonu who couldn't play consistently in Super Rugby for years, but was one of the best options the All Blacks had. But we move on to the Brumbies, who they have gained Tane Edmed, but they have lost 3 very key players. And I think this is why I see the Reds as a team slightly better than them now. Tom Hooper, Len Ikitau, and Noah Lolesio are out. But the team, you still have Alan Alatoa and James Slipper in your props. You still have Nick Frost in the locks. And the Lucy's, you have Rob Valentini still. Halfbacks, you've got Ryan Lonergan. You've got Tane Edmund at first 5'8" now. And then you have Andy Muirhead and Corey Toole in your outside backs of note.
Tom Wright as well.
Tom Wright. Alan Alatoa is currently injured with a back injury, and Tom Wright's got a knee injury at the moment, so that's not ideal.
Also, I see what you mean now on paper.
Yeah.
That the Reds on paper are better, because I did not realise, completely forgot that the Brumbies actually lost Lolosio and Ikitau.
Ikitau is a massive,
that's going to be a massive
signing. Signing for he went to England, I think, but a massive loss for the Brumbies. And so this is why people think the Force might have a chance. But it is still a good team. You've got Lonergan and Toole starting in the game with Muirhead against the Force. You've got Valentini starting at 6. Slipper at the loose heads. Edmonds coming off the bench. So it'll be interested to see how he does in a new situation. Only a couple of debutants there. But for the Brumbies, they've just been like the status quo for Aussie, like not status quo, but like the standard for Aussie teams. The gold standard. Do they hold on to that this season? I think this might be the year they drop off. I think pressure from the Reds, pressure from the Tars, pressure from the Force. I don't think all 3 teams overtake them. But
and the other New Zealand teams as well.
I am in Moana and the draw, of course.
But you are right. On paper, yes. This team is, not as good as it has been. But like you said with the standard, I'm not sure I can, within my heart, go against the Brumbies with the standard that they've set for Australian teams.
And
when all the rest of the Australian teams were doing horribly, the Brumbies were there.
And they've still got Stephen Larkham as coach. So a lot could happen, but I will be intrigued to see what happens against the Force. As we move on to a team who they want to redeem themselves after the last couple of seasons, how the finals have finished.
I was about to say.
And this is a team both of us can talk about in great depth. They've signed some big players. They've lost a couple of big names. It's the Chiefs, now coached by Jono Gibbs.
Yes, they are now coached by Jono Gibbs, but another team on paper that is stacked.
Yep.
But I don't think it's as good as the Hurricanes on paper. But let's go through some of them. Props still got George Dyer and Ollie Norris there. I think George Dyer should have been an All Black last year, but that's just me. Hookers, Brody McAllister still there, and you've got Samasoni Tokiaho and Tyrone Thompson as well. But Tokiaho and, true. But Tokiaho and Brody McAllister there. Great pairing. I say pairing, they play one each, but you get my point. Locks, Josh Lord, who surprised me a little bit with how he played at the end of the year. Naitoa Akoi, who's fantastic, always been a big fan of his game. And of course, the man who I think is the best player on the Chiefs, and that is Tubo Va'i. Then you've got loose forwards. You still got Kalen Bosher there. Luke Jacobson, of course. Samapini Finau. Simon Parker, who just re-signed with the All Blacks as well. And Wallace Satiti. That's a great forward pack there. It's a very
good forward pack.
Go to halfbacks. Cortez Ratama. Xavier Rowe, who I believe came into the All Blacks for injury, but played in the All Blacks 15, did he? Yep, there you go. And then you also got Triple T there as well in the halfbacks. Then you've got first fives, Damien McKenzie. I mean, come on, Josh Jacob as well, and then Tapaya Cook Savage. Midfielders, I was about to say David Daniel Rona, who very much impressed me last year.
He impressed a lot of people.
There with Kun Tupaia, who impressed for the All Blacks. And you've got Kyle Brown, and then you've got Lalakai Fukiti. And then outside backs, I mean, this is the best outside back room in Super Rugby. I'm putting that out there now. Amoni Nadawa.
The next one might have you beat, but go on.
Fair, you are right, but I'm putting Amoni Nadawa, Etene Nanai Saturu, Kyron Moifalo, who's come over there, Leroy Carter. Yeah. Then you've got Liam Coombs-Fabling, Isaac Hutchinson. That outside backs. Let's just Nadawa, Nanai Saturu, Moifalo, Leroy Carter. That's pretty tough.
It's crazy. And in terms of injuries, we've only got a couple to worry about. Brody McAllister's got a hand injury. Be out for a few rounds. Lalakai Feketi's got a slight knee injury. He's signing over from Australia to replace Anton Leonard-Brown, who's gone to Japan for the season. Damien McKenzie's out for the first game because of the birth of his first child.
I love how you've looked. Now, I know he didn't mean this, but he's put this under injuries.
Well, that's where it was put. That's crazy.
I think that's a little bit crazy that it's put under injuries. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. What's your injury? Oh, I'm going to watch the birth of my first child. But injury.
Both Kyle Brown and Kyron Moifalo, big back signings. They've only really lost Anton Leonard-Brown and Sean Stevenson, but they have lost other guys like Malachi Rampling, Jimmy Tupou, Bradley Slater, Aiden
Gideon
Ross.
Rampling. It was Gideon Rampling.
Gideon Rampling as well. But the team they've named for the Blues, you've got some players not playing with you'd think they would be. You've got likes of, you still got Lord Va'i at the locks, but your loose forward starters are Kalen Bosher,
Kyle Brown,
Jerome Brown,
and
Luke
Brown.
Jacobson. Jacobson at 8, and only Finau is on the bench with Akoi. And then you have Rowe and Jacob as the starters with no McKenzie, and Ratimer's on the bench. Coombs-Fabling and Moifalo almost feels like the backup wing pairing get the start over Carter and Nadawa. Tupaia Rona, great pairing. Nanai Satoro at fullback. I think that's his position now. Brown to make his debut off the bench, probably. Cook Savage also to make his debut off the bench. He's also a new signing. Tupaia Cook Savage. So it's a bit of a rotated team, but like last year, the Chiefs named a rotated team in the first game of the season and beat the Blues. So
exactly.
And that's how we found out about Simon Parker. So I'm really intrigued to see how the Chiefs do. They have lost a couple of key players, but like signing Moifalo and bringing back Tyrone Thompson from the league to have 4 decent hooker choices is quite good.
But I think this is going to be the story while the Chiefs have this team for every year. Yeah. When it comes to the final game, so can you finally put it together?
Can they hack it?
Yeah, can they hack it? Yeah. And I know that I believe the playoffs are working slightly different to last year.
I think they've changed exactly how the
because they lost to the Blues but still got in.
No, they still get in, but they don't have a home final anymore.
Okay.
Which is probably should have been the correct thing the whole time.
That's true.
Or they don't get any home advantage at all.
Yeah. Also, you are right about the next team's outside backs. Yes, I can admit my mistakes, people. I can admit my mistakes.
He just chooses not to 99% of the time.
Hey. To be fair, there was somebody that actually commented on one of our shorts that automatically said that our opinions were wrong because of our accents. I'm hoping.
I think it's because we're talking about NFL.
Yeah, what I'm hoping is that he thinks we're Australian.
No, yeah, I think he did. I think he said something about kangaroos. I was like, mate, wrong people.
Yeah, I'm like, sweet, that's cool. You can say that about Australians.
There. But
oh man.
But the Crusaders won it last year after finishing second. Rob Penny's still at the helm, and it's still a pretty good team. They've lost a couple of players, but they've won big.
Still a great team.
Gain.
Yeah, you're right about this outside backs. I'm looking at these names going, sheesh.
Leicester Final Nuku is here alongside, although he's going to be out for a bit of the season, Malone Konawawe, who's a very talented young winger.
Yeah.
They did lose Ioane Moananu, Tom Christie, James O'Connor, and Levi Almore, although O'Connor was really only a backup. Almore didn't really adjust to the Crusaders.
Yeah.
Christie, I'm sure they can replace him, and Moananu is behind a couple of players.
Yeah.
But look, Cody Taylor and George Bell is your 1-2. Solid. And then you've got Manamoa Letiu, who made his debut for the Crusaders last year before he played NPC because they had a hooker crisis.
Yep.
The props. Fletcher Newell, Tamaiti Williams, joined by George Bauer, Finlay Brewer, Seb Calder, Kershaw, Sykes Martin. The locks, Scott Barrett is taking a bit of a sabbatical, but he will come back later in the year. And so I think Will Tucker is here as cover at the moment.
Yep.
Who I think might be wider training squad for. Oh, no, he left the Canes. Never mind.
Oh, that's a solid loose forward room as well.
But Jamie Hanna, Antonio Shalfoon, Tyler Cahill, and Liam Jack. But the Lucies is very strong. Christian Leo Willie, Ethan Blackadder, Cullen Grace, Corey Callow, Dominic Gardner, Xavier Saifaloy. Massive loose forward.
I just want to take a little bit of time to shout out Christian Leo Willie too. And I think I said this last year, but I'm going to say it again. This is a guy who started in the All Blacks, got dropped.
Yeah.
But said, you know what? I'm cool. I'm going to show you guys what the bloody hell you were missing.
Yeah.
Goes to Otago and kills it in the NPC. Shows why he should be in All Black and why he should absolutely be starting for the Crusaders.
With the new coaching changes of the All Blacks incoming, maybe he does get the chance.
I'm not going to lie. I think he's got to be. And the reason I say that is because he went to Massey High School and he is an Aucklander. So,
hey, Massey's, you still live in Massey. The half backs as well. Noah Hofum's joined by Kyle Preston. Rivers Rehana is joined by Taha Kamara.
Yep.
The midfield is very good, although Leicester Final Naku has been named to start on the wing in the first game of the season. You have David Harvey, Brayden Ennor, Dallas McLeod. Ennor is leaving at the end of the season, and young Toby Bell. Then the outside backs, Will Jordan, Shea Fihaki, Sevu Reese, Macca Springer, Ike Toi Vailala, Johnny McNichol, Malani Konawawe.
That's the one. I'm gonna go back on, like I said, I apologize, but I go back on what I said. That's a pretty stacked outside backs.
And even their Whiting trainer group, they have the young Xavier Treacy and Ollie Mathis. They have they have Mitchell Drummond there. They have a couple of younger NPC guys, Sam Hinesworth Faawawhil, who played for Auckland, Cooper Grant and Cooper Roberts, who I think both played for Tasman. They do have a couple of injuries. Macca Springer's out for a couple of weeks. So is Sykes Martin, McNichol. Guys like Jack, Konawawe, and Roberts are out for a little bit longer. Cullen Grass has a knee injury. Not sure how long he's out for. But they've named a very strong team. The Brewer Spell Calder starting front row might not seem that intimidating, but when you realise they've got Cody Taylor, George Bell, and Fletcher Newell coming off the bench.
Yeah, that's a bit mad.
Yeah. Gardner, Blackadder, Leo Willie is just starting. Lucy's with Shalfoon and Hannah starting as the locks. Hofum Rehana is your half duo. Final Nuku and Reese as a wing pairing is scary. Havali Ennor is a tried and tested centre pairing with Shea Haki at 15 as Will Jordan's on the bench with Kamara, with Preston, Cahill, Cahill, Newell and Bauer. No debutants for the Crusaders. All of these players have played for them before.
I'm going to say it here. If Rivers Rehana can put it together, I don't think he put it together for a full season. He was great in the grand final. But if he can put it together for a full season, I think that's another young guy who we might have to say, let's see what he does at 10.
But I think people also saying about Taha Kamara before he got injured. So it's going to be very interesting to see. Yeah. But I think the Crusaders are in a good position to repeat. Yep. I think they're going to be one of the favourites. I think them and the Canes on paper are very good. The Chiefs are also great on paper. The Blues in some areas are also good on paper.
Yeah.
predicting the Super Rugby, which we're about to do in a second, is going to be very, very good.
Because I'm doing this off the dome. Will we just do the table, or will we do the entire thing?
We'll do table. We don't have to.
Yeah,
We'll
I was about to say we can predict playoffs later anyway.
Well, or we can get have our guess for who we think's going to win the whole thing.
Yeah, let's go with that. Let's guess table and then just pick who we think's going to win it.
Yeah.
But you're right. But yeah, and there's actually a lot of guys in this Crusaders that if they get consistent play, and they'll actually get even more next year because Sevu Reece is off to France, I believe.
He's off to France
at the end of this year. I'll leave my opinions for that. Sevu Reece, congratulations. But like Shea Fihaki is that guy, that 14.
He could be in
that
All Black.
14 that can play fullback.
Yeah.
You've also got Macca Springer there, who's a great young player. Scored 5 tries in the game last year. Of course you still got Will Jordan there. I mean, come on.
It was the first game of the season, I'm pretty sure.
It was one of the first games of the season, at least. And then you bring Lester Fainganuku into that as well, who can play wing, but I think is actually better at centre. That's once again, the Crusaders have put together a great team there.
No, I think it's an absolutely brilliant team.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know if you've been telling, but I'm sorting out my papers in the order I think everyone's going to finish it.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we still have to talk. Somebody still has to talk.
Yeah. No. I'm almost done. I'm almost done.
I'm not going to sort out mine. I've kind of got my
I might change this on the dome as well.
I've got my
I want to give myself some
I've got my list anyway. But anyway, should we just quickly run through the table we're going to have? And then leave the people in the comments and watching this.
Should we just go position by position and we'll say who we both think is going to finish in that position?
Yep, let's go.
Cool.
Position by position. Yeah,
12th.
Let's go. Is 12th?
11th.
Sorry.
Cop out pick. Moana Pacifica.
Yeah, I have to say that as well. And I'm not sure it's a cop-out pick. I think they've
I would love to be proven wrong. They finished 7th last year.
Please do.
They could do the same thing.
Yeah.
But I think
they've lost too much.
I feel like it's a cop-out pick. I'm going to put them at 11th.
But I'm putting them 11th, yeah.
10th.
Who you got?
I've got the drawer.
Tough.
I've got the drawer.
Tough.
I don't want to put the drawer here, but I put them here.
It's tough. 10th. Yeah, you're right. I get your points, but I'm not going to do it.
You're not going to do it.
I'm not going to do it. I think 10th. I'm sorry. I know they have a chance, but I need to see them put it together. Man, I'm going Force.
You're going Force.
I'm going Force. Yeah, I'm going Force 10th.
Well,
they have a team that can do something. Don't get me wrong.
What fans do you say that?
But I have them 10.
Because in 9th, I've got the Force.
Okay, that makes sense.
I've got them 9th.
And in 9th...
Finishing same place as last year.
Yeah, fair. And in 9th, I am going to... Oh, man. Because, 9th... So I'm having a dilemma here.
So where you put the draw, or do you put someone else?
So this is where I'm saying, do I put the drawer there? Or, man, you could see the Highlanders going here too. I'm going to put the drawer there. I'm going 9th for the draw.
Well,
although they'll be great at home, as per usual.
Speaking about the Landers, I have got them at 8th.
Wow, okay. Yeah. This is where I am going to put the Waratahs.
Wow.
This is where I'm going to put the Waratahs.
Fancy you say that.
Yeah.
Because in 7th...
You've got the Waratahs.
I've got the Waratahs.
Yep, fair enough. So
have you got the Landers finishing 7th?
So I have got... Or could I switch it up even more?
Ooh, this guy.
No, I've got the Landers there at 7th.
Yeah.
I've got the Landers there at 7th.
So for me, at 6th, I've got the Brumbies. I think they'll fall off a little bit.
Okay.
I've got the Brumbies at 6th.
Yeah. For me, at 6th, I'm going to say I'll put the Reds.
Yeah?
Yeah, I know they look probably like the best Australian team on paper, but I'm not going against the Brumby standard yet. I think the Reds are going 6th.
And this might be crazy coming from me, but at the 5th spot, I've got the Blues.
Yeah.
I've got the Blues at 5th. I think they're a solid 5th, 6th team.
Yeah.
They're going to have to play really fucking well to make the top 4, even the top 3.
That's why I said it comes up to the young guys and whoever, and if Cole Forbes can have an elite season at 14, at least to me, and stay. And then the rest of the team has to stay healthy. I think a lot has to work out for them to be top 4. So, yeah, I've got the Blues in 5th as well.
Yeah, and for me, in 4th, I have the Reds. I think they'll go one better. I think if everyone's fit on time... They'll be a great team.
And this is where I did the swap. I'm still having the Brumbies in that top 4, but I have them 4th instead of 3rd this year. No. I can't go against the standard. I'm sorry. No, I also can't go against one of my favourite 10s to ever play, Stephen Larkham.
Yeah.
So, Yeah, I've got them fourth.
Top 3 is going to be tough to predict. And
Big facts.
am going to say that third is the Chiefs.
Wow.
Yep. I got the Chiefs in third.
Wow. Do you know what? I may go even bigger than that. You know who I've got third?
Crusaders.
Regular season third. I've got the Crusaders.
Yeah.
I know what the Crusaders do in crunch time and things, but
I think the Crusaders might have a much better regular season.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
speaking
fair.
of that, I have the Canes in second.
Wow. So you still got the Crusaders first.
Well, I think the Canes,
Yeah.
although it's a very good team on paper, might just be some fine-tuning, but I think
Yeah.
they immediately go into one of those top teams.
You are right. So this is where I'm saying when it's regular season, when it's table,
Yeah.
that's where I'm going, you know what, I'm going to put the Canes first and the Chiefs second.
Yep.
Those are two elite regular season teams.
Yeah.
When the Hurricanes had Geordie Barrett there, they finished first. So, you know, in table. And then they had that semi-final against the Chiefs where they forgot how to play rugby.
Yeah.
Their rugby. But, yeah, I'm going to go Hurricanes first, Chiefs second.
So I've got...
But do you want to do a rundown of your one?
So I've
just
got
quickly?
Crusaders at first. So if I can remember, I have Moana Pacifica at 11th.
Yep.
I've got the Drua at 10th.
Yes,
I
you
have
did.
the Force at 9th.
Yep.
The Highlanders at 8th.
Yep.
The Waratahs at 7th.
Yep.
The Brumbies at 6th.
Yep.
The Blues at 5th. The
Yep.
Reds at 4th. The Chiefs at 3rd.
Yep.
The Hurricanes 2nd. And the Crusaders 1st.
And then I have Moana Pacifica 11th. I have the it was not the Drua, it was the Western Force 10th. I had the Drua 9th. I had the Waratahs 8th. I had the Highlanders 7th. I had the Reds 6th, Blues 5th, Brumbies 4th, and then I had the Crusaders 3rd, Chiefs 2nd, Hurricanes 1st.
Wow. And
Then we've got to predict the winner.
And a winner from it all, I hate to say this, but I think the winner going back to back is the Crusaders.
Yeah,
They're more,
I agree.
They're more proven in the
Yeah,
playoffs.
it's the Crusaders, man.
I don't know if the Hurricanes can do it.
Fuck!
I think the Hurricanes could do it. I have no
The
faith.
Chiefs could do it too.
I have no faith in the Chiefs anymore. The Buffalo Bills of 2020 Super Rugby.
No. Are you calling the 1990s Buffalo Bills?
Yep, the 90s Bills and the Chiefs from the 2020s are very similar. Making all these finals in a row and not winning one.
Man. Hey, look, you never know. It may be the year where we think, oh, no, they're not going to do it, where they actually put it together in the finals. But I'm sorry, yeah.
I think it's the Crusaders.
Auckland, I'm sorry. You know, I've got my Auckland t-shirt on. I'm a
hope-
fan, but you can't go against the Crusaders.
I'd love Auckland to go on a run again.
Yes.
What I'm thinking, because how is it? It's 1 versus 6, 2 versus 5th. So I've actually got the Canes playing the Blues,
And I've got the Chiefs playing the Blues again.
and I've got the Canes playing the Brumbies. No, the Chiefs playing the Brumbies. No, sorry, the Crusaders playing the Brumbies.
Wait, no, isn't it the first two teams get a bye?
No,
No, you are right. Yeah,
so,
yeah.
so I've got the Crusaders in first because I
Yeah.
said the Crusaders are first.
So they'll play the
Brumbies.
Brumbies.
Then I've got the Chiefs. No, the Hurricanes in second.
They play the Blues.
Playing Blues, and then I've got
The
the
Chiefs
Chiefs playing the Reds,
Reds.
which would be a great game.
It would be a great game.
So yeah, very interesting scenarios.
Yeah, I think it's I know a lot of people here are on the Waz bandwagon. Let's be real here.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
on the Waz bandwagon, and the NRL is awesome.
That's amazing.
And we will talk. We won't do a full preview, but we'll talk about it when the season starts. But you know, Super Rugby is actually going to be interesting, especially for New Zealand now.
Yeah.
We've got to find an All Blacks coach, which will change selections a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't think we have nearly as many centres as we selected last year, so it's
Hopefully
going to
not.
be even more
Hopefully
competitive.
more Lucy's, less centres, and
Yeah.
that's maybe where we see someone like Leo Woolley come in.
Yeah. Or
Because-
we see the return of, you know, if Dalton Papali'i plays his best,
Yeah.
to me at least, and I know this may be Blues bias, but to me, he's the best 7 in New Zealand right now.
in New Zealand because Savi is in Japan.
Yes, that's exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. So, you
Yeah.
know, like, yeah, it's going to be a very interesting season. Yes, we both had the Crusaders winning, which people are like, oh, they do it all the time. But no, I think this season's going to be great. You know, but in my heart, the Blues are going to win it.
Yeah.
But in reality,
I mean,
the Crusaders are going to win it.
I'll trick myself into thinking the Blues will win it, but I think the Crusaders are going to win it. You think the Crusaders are going to win it.
Yeah.
We've done our tables. We've previewed the teams. Let us know.
Please do.
What players you were interested in seeing this season. They could have been in Super Rugby for 10 years or someone who's brand new. What team are you high or low on? Who do you think's going to win it all? And who do you think's going to stink up the joint? Hopefully no one.
Well, why don't we say, to end it off on a positive note, one player from the whole of Super Rugby that we're really looking forward to seeing play. I think I already know your one.
What, Peter Aki?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of them. But in terms of a younger player, I'll do a Blues and a non-Blues. I'm really
Go for it. I'll do that too.
I'm keen to see how Cody Vi runs in Super Rugby.
Yeah.
But in terms of another younger player, I think maybe Lucas Casey.
Yeah, of the Highlanders, man, absolutely. If it's for me, Blues player, I want to see second season Zavi Taeli.
Yeah.
I want to see what he can do because he impressed me quite a bit last year, and he's a different option in that centres, even just in New Zealand in general. A non-Blues player, I'm very much looking forward to watching. That's a young player. But it doesn't have to be a young player. It's just somebody. This is a good one. There's a lot of people to go through here, man. There's a lot of people to go through. I'm going to go to the... You know what? I'm going to go to the Chiefs, and I'm going to say, and he better be getting quality minutes the whole year, Josh Jacob. If he can get quality minutes and build up, man, he's dominated NPC for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Let's see what he can do.
Also, shout out Kyron Toimaifalo.
Yes, absolutely.
He was my breakout player last year. Look what happened.
He was.
I did steal that from Reddit.
Do you have, outside of those guys, do you have a breakout player?
Ooh, that's a toughie. I'm just trying to go through team by team.
Yeah.
It is quite tough.
Yeah, because you predicted that right last year.
Yeah.
But breakout player, man.
I don't really know if there's anyone as obvious
Yeah.
going into this season. Maybe it's like... I'd love it for it to be a Blues player, but...
Yeah, true that.
Yeah, I mean... It's a tough one. It's a really, really tough
Well,
one.
hey, look, we'll end it there. We've said our piece. But yeah, like Simon said, comment down.
Please.
Be civil. Don't be a dick.
You're inciting dickness by saying
That's a very good point, but you get my point. We don't need to do that. We're here talking sport, and it's because we love it. So, let us know what you think, whether we think we're wrong, right, or you think because of our accent we're completely wrong.
Nah.
But once again, that was a good old special episode.
It was a great preview. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I certainly did it. It was...
There we go. I'm starting doing that now.
It's just going to sound weird for our audio listeners, but
I don't care.
But thank you very much for tuning into this special episode of the CouchSide Sports Report. We'll be back as usual on Tuesday morning, talking about what happened in that first week of Super Rugby.
Yeah.
Won't be talking about the NFL for the first time in several months.
Yep.
But we will be getting you all up to date on everything, such as the A-League, the Aussie NBL, the NBA,
probably
the Premier League.
Winter Olympics in there
Winter Olympics as well. Come on, New Zealand and all the other cool non-New Zealand athletes. And, well, apart from that, that's it for us. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Follow us on CouchSide.network on all platforms. And Dylan, do you want to send us off?
Yeah, let's send us off, mate. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And as we do, CouchSide out.
CouchSide out.